Hello, Natalie. Hello, Si Mohammed Bouknifi. I hope you are doing well. I don't know if there is a way you can tell our friends who are waiting on the other scheduled video because there was a technical problem to get out and get back. Please ask them to do so. So this one is live, but this one, no. Okay. So I have to delete this. Delete. Very good. Successfully deleted. So hoping that our other friends will join us. We are already 15 here, which means that you have successfully, okay, you have managed to make it here. There was a technical problem. The reason why I have been, I've not respected the time, though, of course, so I have not been too late. Never mind, ladies and gentlemen, let's wait for our friends to join. Natalie, hello. Si Mohammed, hello. Si Ashraf, Si Mustafa, Athena, Natalie, Fatima Zara. All right. Maram, Ahlan Maram. Ustada Zineb, she is with us, of course. Suleiman, Ayub, Muhsin, Maram again. Hello, everyone. After Maram, Si Rashid, نهيلة ضحى دعاء فادي أنزل وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. Thank you, Si Mohammed. Thank you, Barakallahu Fik. You've been absent for some time, and I understand that it was it was a vacation period, and you may have gone with your family, with Roshan, somewhere. Okay, so thank you, Si Suleiman, Asma. Yeah, it happened. There was a button I pressed, and I became someone who was waiting for the live to start by itself. So until I started a new video, so I think now we are fine. Okay, so I have a little remark, if you permit. Number one, and not everyone sent his or her introduction. That's number one. Number two, some of you sent the introduction, but with a name that is camouflaged, that is hidden, and this is not good. This is not a good sign, of course. Well, of course, I will not say the names out loud. But then, if you are someone who is shy because you might be afraid, you might have concerns about people's attitudes towards your mistakes, you will never learn, my friend. So it takes some courage. You need to have this courage to say that this is your level, and that if there is some feedback from other people, if there is feedback, that will be so much the better. So let me clean this lens a bit. We can reach me. Je ne sais pas pourquoi. Bon, anyway. Thank you so much. In any case, this is something I wanted to point out. It's something you wanted to point out, and I hope I hope the message has been successfully delivered. Okay, Si Mohammed Roshan always watches your live sessions with me. Thank you so much. Say hi to her, and I guess she remembers the memorable day of your defense and also the defense of Dr. Samia. I think you were also there with us. Was it the defense of Dr. Samia or another friend? I think it was Samia's defense. Anyway. Where have they submitted the intro? Some students, some friends submitted that on the Google, doc link to the Google Doc provided by Si Morshid, but others sent it to my Facebook, to your academic companion. So that's the thing. I just wonder whether you have had any time to write the introduction. You thought it was that other people should write it, but you will just watch. No, my friend, that's not the way you will go about doing things. That's within the framework of the general advice that I give. اللي كيحشم ما عمره ما يتعلم. اللهم الواحد يخطأ هنا في هذا الفضاء ويصحح خطأه خير من أن يقترف الخطأ في في اواسطه ولا اوساط. ديك الساعات كتكون الحشمه فعلا. كاين شي بلايص، شي حوايج بون كيوقعوا في شي بلايص، شي اخطاء كيتقترفوا في شي بلايص. وي عندك الحق تحشم، ولكن in the course of your learning لا، لا لا الانسان ما خصوش يحشم كاع كاريمون ما خصوش يحشم يسي الواحد حنا كنتعلموا حنا كاع كنتعلموا انا براسي تصحح لي بعض الاخطاء كثير منها عن غير قصد ولكن كنتقبل لان الواحد خصو يتقبل وشنو فيها الا قالوا امروس دار خطا مثلا انا نيت كنرجع some of my videos كنلقى راسي عوض ندير فوردرت اوف ولا بريبوزيسيون بس فوالا اوكي يجي واحد يقولها لي تقبلها بفارغ زعما بصدر رحب. Okay, my friends. Okay, my friends. Asma, we are talking about the introduction that we agreed that you would send to Mr. Mustafa Moshid or to me, and Mustafa has kindly created. Has had this kindness of creating a Google link. But anyway, in the course of this live session, if there is an introduction, just if you have managed to write one, okay. Thank you, Si Mohsin. Thank you. Thank you, Zineb, for confirming. Thank you. Thank you all, nice friends. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now let's just start with maybe can we wait until we reach maybe a certain number of viewers, or do you think we can start now? I don't know. Okay, I wrote it and I didn't know where to submit it. Okay, you can submit it to your academic companion, Dr. Amrous, on Facebook if you are there, or just to Nuruddin Amrous or whatever. Life is easy, so you can send it wherever. See, Ashraf, right now? Okay, let me see. Waiting for more friends to join. اللي عنده شي باراجراف بغا يحطها في الفيسبوك مرحبا به. اوكي بلاتي نشوف I'm checking. نعم أشرف هاي أشرف very good okay nice alright. عادي الميستيكس عادي كتب الأخطاء ديالك وبان هكذا يعني. وباي ذا واي it's even better when you make mistakes at the beginning and you find out that after an amount of time you have improved. مزيان راه كي كنتي وكي وليتي. You see, you will just make fun of yourself and that's a good thing. So no, I don't think you should. I think it's high time I invested in a webcam so that you can see me. All right. Anyway, thank you very much. Alan Noni Nunos, in the absence of the lady from Marrakesh by the name of Sumia, your presence. I'm just joking. You are welcome. I will never forget that day, how much I laughed at that comment of hers. Okay, nice. Thank you. Please like the live. Of course. Oh, I forgot that. اليوم كترو عندي المسمومين هنايا 37 against 14 يلا 15 very good يلا like please like ماشي بليز انا ما كنسعاكمش نقول لكم صراحه. I'm just saying that if you really like the live show it صافي that's all otherwise I have no problem. you see ما كندخلوش الاموال الطائله كندخلوا حتى الاموال خلي عاد تكون اموال طائله that's not I don't have that here. The one who wants money راه غتقري جوج سوايع في البريفي راه غتخلص. That's the thing. Okay. Some people think that Amros is getting richer and richer because he has a YouTube channel. How many people watch the video? 500 maximum. كتوصل 700 بعد 15 يوم ولا ما عادي. Anyway, my friends. Anyway. Thank you. عندي 10 المسمومين هنايا 39 كيشوفوا و39 دايرين لايك. دونك 39 ناقص 29 تساوي 10. So 10. Okay, thank you. Please, what's the topic? مرحبا بك. The topic today, we are going to correct some of the introductions that were submitted by others, because we agreed yesterday that there might be a writing part where you are asked to produce an essay. You never know, just in case there is one. But by the way, even if there is nothing that that asks you, if there is no question that asks you to produce, even multiple choice questions, you see, are related to these things. So we have to work on these things. We have to work on these things. Susanne is laughing. We have to work on these things. anyway, we believe that there will be a question related to these things. Anyway, okay, my dear friends, let's start now that you are 44 against 33, 11 quote unquote poisonous. Okay, friends here. I'm just joking. All right. Anyway, let me start. I don't know where to start from. Okay. Munir, what? Je sais pas. I have pasted. Let me see. Athena. Yes, Athena. غادي نشوف غادي نشوف هذا. اوكي. أشرف 30. أشرف's paragraph. هي. Ashraf's paragraph. Yeah. Ashraf, you remind me of two of my brilliant master students. The two of them are now in the doctorate, and the two are called Ashraf. One day, because I am spontaneous, because I told you that I should refer to you as Ashrafs, like knives. Ashrafs with a V, and they started laughing. Okay, never mind. Okay, Mustafa, YouTube does not allow us to share links here. It's fine. Okay. Anyway, my friends, let me start with the first one, please. I will. I think we will start with Moni. Okay, I will not name names because I need to be. You see, since the majority may not, like to see their names mentioned, so let's do it this way here. Let's do it this way here. I will hide Natalie's name, but that's not her paragraph. Her paragraph is somewhere else. So let me share with you this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. فناتر هي هذه وقيلة. Very good. Okay. Okay, let's look at this paragraph, ladies and gentlemen. I wonder whether you can go back to the question. Let me read the question first. Let me read the question. Is it this one? Je pense oui. Let me read the question, please. I have it here. The question says, today's generation are spending too much time playing computer games, chatting aimlessly on social networking sites, or simply watching TV, and too little time doing things which involve physical activity. So this is, by the way, one way of paving the ground to your understanding of the question. It paves the ground for, this is very important. I have not asked you anything here, but it's good because it guides your structuring of an essay. So the central idea here is that the generation that we witness today, are individuals who are not active enough, physically active. Means they are all they eat and they watch TV with Netflix, with YouTube, with other channels, and with the connections. They move. There is little movement and much rest. Now the question says, to what extent do you agree or disagree with the statement? Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own experience. Now, can I tell you what happens in the correction? Let me tell you. That's how I do it myself. Thank you. Thank you for pasting that. Thank you. Barakallahu fik, Yasin Haddadi. Thank you so much. Thank you, my friend. Okay. The corrector of an essay, the one who will read the evaluator of an essay like this one here, will do one thing. The first thing he or she will do is to go and check. شوفوا معايا, what I'm saying is important, right? They will likely go and check whether you have a thesis statement or not. شتي عاد غادي يقراو l'introduction. Let me see. As far as I am concerned, I firmly believe that today's generation are netizens for several reasons. Okay, very good. So here, can we say in reading this thesis statement that, our friend here has answered the question faithfully? Is this thesis statement faithful to the question? Okay. I need your feedback because we are looking at it together as one group, as close friends. As you see, I think no. Natalie says no, and I agree with this no here. Why? What is wrong with this? شفتوا كيفاش كتتم لا كوريكسيون. It somehow answers it, but it should not be somehow. It should be faithful to the question. Yes, Maram says it's an implied thesis statement, yet to the point. All right. No, the reason is that, look at this. Look at the question, my friend. Look at the question. To what extent do you agree or disagree with the statement? Which statement? The statement that the generation are spending much time on playing computer games, chatting aimlessly on social networking sites, or simply watching TV. One of the reasons why we should exclude the net is watching TV. Yes or no? Okay, so we have two solutions here. Either we mention, these elements in the thesis statement, or you see, we find another way of formulating, because you say netizens. أولا, the word netizens here that you are including, my friend. Wait a minute, please. Wait a minute, my dear friends. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's good, Mustafa. Thank you for reminding us of the point. If you say netizens here, you are excluding watching TV. We have to be very careful when it comes to these things. Okay? هذا رقم واحد. Number two, in this thesis statement, you have a word that you think people know. Let me tell you about this tip in composition, my dear friends. Never ever, هذا خطأ فادح كيقترفوا بزاف الناس, never ever include things, that some people may not know, and that you assume that the professor knows. I don't mean that the professor does not know, no. But you have to assume that the professor knows only English. Netizens is a recently probably coined term, and it merits explanation somehow. After all, you are writing composition. If you write netizens and go, then that's not a good thing. So I think it's a good idea. Well, Athena, I fully agree with you. I know this, and so many people do know this, but I'm talking to you about the essay. An essay, such a term needs to, for reasons of clarity. Yasin, yes, that's true. That's true. So, هذه رقم واحد. Okay. Number two, has this statement answered the question? The answer is no. Why? What's the statement? This statement says, this statement does not ask you whether today's generation are netizens or not. يلا تمشي وحده هذاك netizens نقبلوها. ولكن السؤال ما كيسولونيش انا واش لا جينيراسيون واش نيتيزنز ولا ماشي نيتيزنز. انا ما قلتيش ما خداماش هنايا. ما جاوبتيش يا اخي على السؤال. Very good. You see, the key element here is that today's generation, I think that's where you are moving. Today's generation, yes, they are netizens bad, because the question is not about this. It's about being sedentary. It's about being not moving enough, and this idea is not expressed here. Do you agree, my friend, or not? The key word, the heart of the question, the statement that we have to agree or disagree with, is whether people are active or not active, not because whether they are netizens or citizens, or you see. So in this thesis statement, in the شوف عافاكم whether you are candidates or you become teachers, the best way of explaining thesis statement, and you need a lot of exercising on this, is to try to be faithful. The thesis statement should be like a mirror to the question. Take the question, but take it faithfully. هنا it's out of topic. Here it's out of topic. باش نكون معكم صريح. هنا ما سولونيش على واش citizens ولا واش netizens ولا هذا. شتي إذا ما كاين لا ambiguity لا والو. صريحة العبارة كتقول لك today's generations do not move because of social media and television. فهمتني؟ واش do you agree or you don't agree, that's your freedom. ولكن if you agree with the statement, not agree with something else. Okay, very good. So for this thesis statement, it needs re-improvement. Mulaha, the friend who has written this, you are kindly requested to suggest, or let's suggest a solution. Let's suggest. Would you kindly suggest? Take this. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that's very good because you are showing your opinion. It's mzian. I firmly believe. I think there is some sort of tautology when you say as far as you are concerned, or as far as I'm concerned. I don't need to say I firmly believe. Okay. That's at the level of the style. But could you possibly, ladies and gentlemen, make an attempt to produce alternatives to this thesis statement? Otherwise, I will continue maybe with the whole paragraph, and then maybe we look at other paragraphs, and you might be asked in light of this discussion to send me, okay, better versions of this. I think this way is better. Yes or no? I think this way is better. What do you think, my friends? Yeah, so you listen to the feedback. You might come back to the video later. I don't know. In light of my and our, let's say, our feedback on this paragraph, please do your best to produce a better version of your paragraph in case the feedback concerns yours as well. Thank you. I think it's better. فاش كتسمع الفيدباك وكتعاود راه tu fais attention. Okay? So let's read now the rest. راه كونوا متاكدين ان لا ماجوريتي ديال الاساتذه اللي غادي يصحوا لكم الايساي ديالكم راه اول حاجه ان هذاك الشيء راه ماشي لا كوريكسيون. The correction is not impressionistic. It's not holistic. It don't think that they will read your essay and they will give you a grade. You see, no. They will see whether you have a thesis statement and whether your paragraphs have some have the required structure, whether you use concrete examples, and whether your essay, because this is an argumentative essay, whether it's two-sided or not. And these things we will visit later on. Two-sidedness is a key element in argumentative writing. I repeat, two-sidedness. شنو هي two-sidedness? It means you are for the fact that people are passive, are not active enough. ولكن there will be a paragraph where you show that they do some activity, so that you will say the opposite later on. I think this merits an independent session tomorrow. دا نهضروا على two-sidedness إن شاء الله avec des exercices en ligne زعما هكذا على المباشر ماشي مشكل. All right, so let's read, ladies and gentlemen. There are rubrics for all the you see, for all for every single element in an essay. So let's read, ladies and gentlemen. So for decades, people tended to immerse themselves in various activities such as reading, playing, working, and weightlifting. مزيان? Now, let's consider this sentence, please. Okay. Ahmed, keep that, please, for a while. Yes, I will, Asma, I will. إلا بغيتو نخليو حتى لغدا باش نهضروا على l'argumentatif كامل. It will take the form of a lecture, but there will be some exercises على راسي وعينيا إن شاء الله. سي أحمد الله يخليك حميد عوين. Show us that maybe later. الله يخليكم, I need you to concentrate on the first sentence here. Is there a mistake or not? The idea is general, is very good. The idea is very good. There is a little mistake that disturbs there. It's the use of the simple past. Because, when you say simple past, you cannot say for decades. For decades, people tended to immerse in contrast. You are contrasting. All right, all right, all right, all right. For decades, people tended. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. It's good. Themselves in various activities. So this is not a mistake, by the way. If it's over decades, that's fine. But here there is a contrast. So for decades, people tended to immerse themselves in various, this is beautiful, activities such as reading. Afakum, please learn from your friend here. This is really nice. When you say such as has your friend, as does your friend here, tended to immerse themselves in various activities such as no punctuation in this regard. كاين اللي كيكتب لي activities ويكتب لك 2 points such as لا سيدي. No. So it's this, such as, it should be used in that way with no single punctuation whatsoever. Nothing. You see? No colon or colon. Okay. For decades, people tended to immerse themselves in various activities such as reading, playing, working, and you don't need these commas. الله يرحم والدينا الإخوان. Limo, enumeration, when you have multiple words and be coordinated, the coordinator is just at the end, that's for sure. And the commas, no. What am I saying? No, that's the thing. So I was thinking of another language. I'm so sorry. So activities such as reading, comma, playing, working, yes, and weightlifting. For the comma before and, the comma before end is generally not accepted, but some uses, okay, in American English, for example, they use this comma and then end, so it does not harm. If I were to correct their essay, if I were to correct this essay, I wouldn't penalize it for the comma, because it's okay. But previously, yes, of course, yes. I was just trying to compare these things with these enumerations with Arabic, because in Arabic you have to say what. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. So please put these things between brackets. It looks very neat here. It looks very nice. So let's continue. And weightlifting. In contrast, nowadays, many people have become technophiles, and they spend much of their time scrolling on social media or playing video games. This is very good. This is really nice. شوف, I would have liked. عرفتوا I would have liked. هي كان بودي. J'aurais aimé que. Donc I would have liked. In this paragraph, I would have liked to see. I would have liked to see something relating to, not only to the use of technology, because this is probably almost exclusively on technology and its use, but I would have liked to see, our friend here making some reference to people being mobile, active, and inactive. That's very interesting. You cannot have a paragraph, an introduction on this topic without mentioning that. So if there is, overall, the writing is excellent, outstanding. Apart from, as far as I'm concerned, I firmly believe, which I believe is tautology. It's tautology. But, for the paragraph, it's fine. شوف, my only, these are the comments. The thesis statement needs to be rewritten, and this introduction could have been a bit longer, especially if you think of adding active versus inactive. Shall we move on to the next one, please? Yasin says something. Otherwise, Professor, I guess we have to use commas. Huma commas are stamping. That's true. Yes, of course. Because I made the mistake of because I confused that with and, so it turns out that it's fine. It's fine. All right. بارك الله فيك مرام, الله يرحم والدين تنتي, الله يخطيكم. Thank you so much. Alors, est-ce qu'on peut, can we move on, professor? Yes, Athena. And عندنا واحد لا فراز اللي غادي نشوفوها ديال شكون, ديال من؟ Our friend, je sais pas qui. بغينا نقراو داك لا فراز ديالو ونديروا واحد ليفالواسيون. نستغلوا هذه الفرصة هذه. Je sais pas qui. My friend, إلا كتسمعني, paste your sentence again here, your topic sentence here in the comments. My friend, before we move, because if we move, I will not come back to it again. يلا سي أحمد, يلا سي أحمد. سي أحمد, are you there? Paste your comment, Ahmed Awin. Paste your sentence, please, so that we can move. Can an introduction be only 3 sentences? Can it be considered a paragraph? It is. Here, if our friend, the writer of this paragraph, if he had added just 1 sentence, especially that he has not talked about the activity versus lack of activity, it would be nice. Why? Because the introduction has this characteristic of being shorter than the other paragraphs. So maybe 4 sentences can do the job, apart from the thesis statement. Okay. So Ahmed, is indentation obligatory in academia? You'd better indent. That's true. Okay. So indentation, is a very good habit that you have to learn. So indent, yes, because that's academic writing. Okay, my friends, we have Mustafa copying or pasting Sihmed's, Mustafa, Sihmed's, okay, yeah, Sihmed's sentence. Okay, wait a minute. Mustafa says, I strongly agree. No, Ahmed says, I strongly agree with the idea that today's generation wastes. Safi, Allah yakhlيكم, don't. My God. Please, as I read this sentence, if you type any other thing, I will be confused, because don't write anything, please. Okay. جمال غادي نقرا لك لا فراس ديالك عافاك. سي مصطفى مرشد, why have you deleted that? يلا أحمد, أحمد. Okay. Ahmed says, I strongly agree with the idea that today's generation wastes too much time on their screens rather than on physical activities. For me, this is an excellent, excellently written thesis statement. Why? Number 1, it's an independent sentence. Number 2, you have strongly agree. It's not just agree, it's strongly agree, which means what? Which is there is a lot of self-confidence, and that this gentleman is ready to argue for his perspective on this. So I strongly agree with the idea that today's generation wastes too much time on their screens rather than on a physical activity. Very clear. Very clear. Here it's very clear. Nice. Okay. جمال جمال واخا ياسين, واخا انا غادي ان شاء الله نقرا هذه. لا ما تكتبوش عافاكم, ما تكتبوش عافاكم, سي فو بلاي. خصني نقراها لان انا جمال السنتنس ومن بعد كتبوا, عندكم الحريه. سوري. جمال says, in my opinion I strongly believe, عافاكم, بعدوا عليكم هذا كيتسموا لا توتولوجي. It's you are saying the same thing. I strongly believe right here, in my opinion. So you just use 1, please. Okay. So Si Jamal, please use just 1, either in my opinion or I strongly believe. I strongly believe. Let's like ناخذوا هذا strongly believe حيت فيها شويه ديال strength. Parce que my opinion is, even if it's an opinion, it's weakly expressed. Okay. So I strongly believe that today's generation spends a great deal of time on these technologies. It's incomplete. علاش, my friends, الله يرحمكم بوالدين. A sentence which is self-contained, which is autonomous, that is to say, what is an autonomous thesis statement? What do we mean when we say a thesis statement is autonomous? What we mean is that it should have better avoid anaphoric references and cataphoric or whatever. Avoid هذاك this that. No, mention the things as they are. Mention the things as they are. Mention the idea should be complete, not dependent on what you said before. So for Jamal, great deal on time, ماشي on these technologies, on technological inventions or use other terms. Not this to refer to something you said before. لا, please don't do that. Okay? And for Jamal's thesis statement, yes, it partly reflects the topic, but again, you have missed out on on the notion of activity or lack thereof. You see? So Jamal, take these comments into account, and thank you for pasting, your suggestion. We learned that no paragraph should be less than 5 sentences. Well, Dua, I do not mean that 4 sentences is the norm. Well, 5 sentences, yes, I fully agree with this idea. I fully agree. But for the introduction, أنا بعدا فهذا بغض لينا less than 5 sentences will not give you a full paragraph of 10 lines or I agree with it. For the introduction, there might be this. It's not an exception, but it's usually a reduced paragraph compared to the others. But it should not be too reduced. Okay, very nice. All right, thank you Dua for this suggestion. Yeah, أنا متفق مع هذا الايديا ديال زعما no less than 5 sentences لان كوميم راه اساتذه المستقبل استاذ لونغلي هذا اللي غادي يدوز يعني راه يدوز باش يولي استاذ ولا باش يمشي للماستر ولا فهمتيني يعني كوميم ما يقدرش يكتب ان باراغراف ديال 3 فراز وصافي. Okay, very good. Okay, what about the statement? So I read it, I gave you the feedback, my friend. Yasin says, dear professor, I should, what's that? Should it be rather than on physical activities or rather than physical activities? ما عقلتش ياسين على الافخاذ الله يجازيكم بخير. هنا c'est un problème. Here it's a problem of parallelism, parallel structures. If you could paste the sentence, that would be good. Yasin, عفك, paste the full sentence so I can be, لأكون على بينة مما أقول. Okay? Thank you, my friends. Let's move on, please. تدير لك الباستين سي ياسين. Okay. يلا نمشيو إن شاء الله. The other sentence or the other paragraph. Okay. Let me hide the paragraph writer. Okay. I will keep the name of the one who wrote the next paragraph. I will keep his name. شوفوا السمية ديالو كي دايره باش تعرفوا الناس شفافية. شوفوا كي داير النيم ديال. So here we have a paragraph. هي كتبان لكم paragraph. Yes or no? And here you have the name. The name. He or she has called himself or herself Dot. She or he has reduced himself to a dot. Never mind, my friends. This is just. شوف, Hamza, I strongly agree with the idea that today's generation wastes too much time on their time on screens rather than on. Too much time. لا صحيحة هذه صحيحة. Rather than on. Waste time on something rather than on something. Okay, that's the that's how it should better be, huh? Okay, nice. Because the combination here, you are combining 2 prepositional phrases. Yes, I have an argument for this. It's good to give arguments. مثلا لنفرض أن عندك spend time on this rather than in this. You see? إلى عندك البريبوزيشن مختلفين بيان سور لي بريبوزيشن هما غيكونوا داخلين في لو جو ديال الكوردينيشن. Anyway, my dear friends, let's start this. يمكن ما واضحش هذا الشيء. Wait a minute. Why generation? It's not just generation. It's in recent years. So let me do the uploading again. Okay, arrêtez la page et puis zid. Yalla. Partage. So tell me what you think of this paragraph, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. The first thing I have to do, as is habitual, is to go to the thesis statement. Let's see. There are several clear reasons why spending more time on inactive hobbies is connected to less physical activity and more health problems. Your opinions, please. There are several clear reasons why spending more time on inactive hobbies is connected to less physical activity and more health problems. Si Muhammad says it's too general, I guess. Is there anyone who would like to feel free? احنا وكنتعلموا ensemble. This is a space. Si Muhammad thank you for making it here. It's not faithful to the question. Where is his position or is he agree or not? Or does he does he or she? Very good. So here of course there is something missing. The English language in which this is written is good, nothing to say about it. But of course, this one here, the question does not ask us to the thesis statement would make someone who has not read the question believe that the question is about is connected to whether spending more time on inactive hobbies is connected to less physical activity. This is not the point. The point is today's generation spend are less active because of social media. Is that fine or not? This statement is a comparison of generations on activity/inactivity. These three elements have to appear there. All right. So I would have liked this sentence to be, for example, it is evident that anyway, it is evident that there is good. شوفوا هذه الإكسبريشن زوينة. اكتبوا هذه الإكسبريشن زوينة. There is good reason to argue that. There is good reason to argue that. You see? ولا it stands to reason to argue that. Very beautiful expressions. Okay? It stands to reason to argue that, or there is good reason to argue that. So there is good reason to argue that the present-day generations are less active on account of the overuse of technology. Maybe you can have that. So something like this can make of this an outstanding thesis statement. So this thesis statement is not criticized for the way in which it was written. It's written in very good English. Thank you, Dua. That's true. These will beautify your writing, among other expressions, of course. So let's read the beginning now. In recent years, concerns have been raised about the lifestyle habits of today's younger generation, as a significant number of young people increasingly engage in non-physical entertainment, such as computer games, chatting aimlessly on social networking sites, and watching television. Very good. Although I have a little comment on this, but the reason why I said very good for this beginning is that you are reflecting to a very large extent the contents of the statement. So, my dear friends, for the thesis statement and for your introduction, much of their elements need to be brought from the question and the topic. Very intelligent. It's a very intelligent way of doing this. And that's what the author here is doing. You see, it's one way of paraphrasing somehow what was written there. Very good. That's really nice. أهلا أسماء نرجس. How are you? Okay, very nice. Okay, so but there is one thing I would like to um, choose a verb here. What should call admonish, ولا censure, rebuke, or what to say for this writer here. I would like to blame this writer just for the length. It's too long. It's not ungrammatical. There is no mistake, but it's too long. It's too long. Please try to avoid that. Try to stop midway and break your sentences. Break a long sentence into two, for example, because you have already here 1, 2, 3 lines and almost 3 lines and a half. That's too much. Okay, despite the fact that it's clear English, it's academic English, but I would have liked to see maybe a couple of sentences instead of one here. Let's continue, please. It is widely argued. So here, this is, the author here has started with a general statement. This is very good. And now we should notice some, movement towards a less general idea. All right. So here what we have is it is widely argued that these behaviors have led to a decline in physical activity among youth, raising critical reflection regarding their health. Raising critical reflection is a bit see بالنسبه للtopic sentence long topic sentence غادي نجي ليها loan 12. So I think that this is a successful movement from a general statement to one that is less general. It's important to look at whether these concerns are true and to understand how this new way of living affects people, affects the long generation, for example. Affects people, affects the young generation. Without affects people, we're not talking about people, we're talking about today's generation. So it would be better to call a spade a spade. All right? Something like this can pass for a fairly good introduction, but if the comments I have had cause to mention are taken into account. Okay, now for the topic sentence, it's not long. No, not at all, because there are several clear reasons why spending more time on inactive hobbies connected. But no, it's okay, it's fine. But again, it's fine, yes, but it needs this element. It needs to be focused. It needs to address the question faithfully enough. That's the point. All right, of course, no mistake that relates to language. Can we move on, my dear friends? Or do you have a question? Yalla, I should read. Move on or have a question? Yes, what? Move on, Yalla, move on. Let's look at the paragraph written by Mr. Dot or Miss Dot or Mrs. Dot. God knows. God knows what title to give to the dot. All right, let's see. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so let me show you this paragraph. عادي الإنسان يدير الأخطاء. شوف، أخطاء طبيعية جدا، والخيب هو نديروا الأخطاء ونلجوا في أخطائنا. يعني كنبقاو فيهم وراسنا كيكون قاصح، يعني ما كنتعلموش. هذا هو الخيب. أما ندير الأخطاء ويكون عندي العزيمة باش نحل المشاكل ديالي. لا عندي شي مشاكل في اللغة، هذاك أحسن ما كاين. One has to be proud. So today's generation are spending more time in front of screens ever before. مزيان، ولكن اسمح لي غادي نمشي نقرا الثيسيس ستيتمنت. فين هي الثيسيس ستيتمنت؟ Physical activity has been reduced and screens have taken over. This imbalance poses a risk on health, education and social life. Okay. So we can see the screen. ما كتشوفش screen؟ ما كتشوفوش screen. I'm so sorry. I thought that you can see the screen now. Okay. بلاتي نحيد هاد السمية هادي، يمكن كتشوفوها شفتوها مي bon. Never mind. Is it okay now? We can see it. Very good. Okay. So let's talk about Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So let's go to the thesis statement here. Here we have a little problem, ladies and gentlemen. We have a little issue here. What is the issue? Where is the thesis statement? After all, the definition of a thesis statement is that it's the last sentence of the introduction. And this last sentence has to summarize your point in answer to the question. You see? دابا إلا مشينا this imbalance, if we say that the last sentence is this imbalance poses risks on health, education, and social life, this sentence cannot qualify as a good thesis statement for the simple reason that it's not autonomous. Why? Because you have this imbalance. It should be autonomous. Autonomous means it should carry all the ideas in as explicit a manner as you can afford. So we really need to be careful which imbalance. Okay? Maybe لا 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 دعاء لا لا انا غنجي لهذا السيمي كولن لان السيمي كولن بمثابه فول ستوب كدير نفس العمل ديالها. لا لا ماشي هذا هو المشكل دعاء. Alors là we should have a complete idea here. What imbalance are we talking about? You can say, for example, the fact that the young generation spend more time on TV and social media and whatever than on physical activity poses risks on health, etc. عاد غنشوفوا هاد poses risk. Do you understand or no? Thank you, Mr. Forgame. Thank you. So this last sentence, the thesis statement, تكون عندها une sorte d'autonomie. It should be independent of what I have written previous. Is that fine, my friends? ممكن تسولوني على coherence. Cohesion it's implied there. You know, the cohesion is implied. Should be specific and clear. Thank you. All right. Maybe what, look at this. Look at this. Physical activity has been reduced and screens have taken over. That is winner. Yeah, that's good. But if only this author could lump the two sentences from physical activity until social life into one, بالحق, making things very explicit. And عجبتني هذه القضية, physical activity has been reduced, very good, and screens have taken over, beautifully expressed. But as a thesis statement, نجيكم من الآخر, it's not successful. Yeah, اللهم نقولها لكم هنا, and then you will do something to rewrite it. You see? So what's the lesson here? The lesson is that our topic sentence has to be independent of what we have said before. ما كنهضروش بالمرموز في thesis statement, ما كنرمزوش, ما كنقولوش راه هاد الشيء لا لا لا, قول لي المسائل, call a spade a spade. Il faut appeler un chat في la thesis statement. Thank you, سي أحمد. Thank you. Thank you, دعاء. Okay? أنا نعاود لكم, نعاود نذكركم. فاش كيكون عندك ان essay, when you write an essay and you submit it, سواء في la faculty في l'université as a student, سواء في هاد l'examen اللي جاي, سواء في الماستر, أي بلاصة, the people who ask you to write an essay ماشي بغاو له بلا 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 بلا, مع كامل احتراماتي, راه ماشي كان not criticizing, لا كاع كنديروا داك البلا بلا, ماشي بغاو يشوفوا واش الافكار ديالكم هي مزيانه, that's central. بالحق اوسي بغاو يشوفوا يعني واش you know what an essay is, واش عارفين شنو هو essay, باش يعرفوا واش عارفين, واش عندك introduction, وي, واش فيها thesis statement, وي, واش جايه من general to specific, وي, full mark. صافي. يعني في هذا الكوتي هذا كيطمئن. انا الاساتذه الاغلبيه اللي كيصحوا راه كيمشيو ديريكتومون للثيسيس ستيتمنت. اللي كيصح شي ايسي كيمشي يشوف الثيسيس ستيتمنت واش كاين ولا ما كاينش. honestly زعما نقول لكم ليش. فاطمه يس، لان هذا السؤال فاطمه راه خديناه من ليكزامان ما عرفت ديال 2022 ولا 21. اوكي نايس. اوكي my friends, so let's read from the beginning now and see whether there are any mistakes or anything to correct. الله يخليك مول ولا مولات، هاد هذا الباراجراف. And our friends here anyway, we benefit from each other's mistakes, and it's not a stigma to make a mistake, but the stigma is the thing that will become a stigma is when you believe that you don't need any learning. هذا خطأ فادح تقترفونه في حقكم وفي حق مستقبلكم مع اللغة الإنجليزية. Okay, today's generation are spending more time in front of screens ever than before. More time ever than before or than ever before? Okay. Than ever before? Hamza, today's generation are or is one of the reasons why are should be the one here is that the question says the young generation are, but for these groups generations sometimes you can have is or are, but anyway the question says are, so you should not say it's is, so that you will not give the message that you know better than they do. Take it as it is. And okay, لان لا كيستيون اش كتقولي هنا كتقولي today's generation are spending, خليوها are spending. By the way, it's correct anyway. It's an option. It's one of the options. Okay, so are spending more time in front of screens ever than before. It's maybe than ever before. Than ever before. ياك متفقين ولا ما متفقينش؟ Not long ago, young people spent their free time playing football in the streets. Right? Oh, I like this. I like this. I like this. Look at this. Look at the transition. Very beautiful transition. Not long ago, young people أنا كنفضل نزيدو would spend. Okay. Not long ago, many or young people would spend would spend their free time playing football in the streets, riding bicycles, or engaging in other outdoor activities. Very good. Nowadays, however, شوفوا لي الأسلوب كيفاش كتكتب however. Perfect. Nowadays, however, they spend countless hours gaming, chatting online, or watching TV. Wow, a very beautifully written paragraph. It would be, an outstanding paragraph were it not for the last sentence where maybe or which you should rewrite, my dear friend, dot. God knows who this dot is. All right. Imagine until email, dear dot. Oh, I'm just joking. Okay. So let's move on, please, to the other one, to the next one. Yeah, Ahmed says it's beautiful. Yeah, الأسلوب رائع. هذا أسلوب رائع جدا. Il y a des gens qui écrivent اللي كيعرفوا زعما يكتبوا عندهم الفلو واش ما كيحضروش واش جو سي با ولكن فاش كيجيو لهاد المسائل ديال لا ستركتور they are somehow okay it becomes problematic. Okay, so نحيد هذه. very good. انا غادي نمشي نحيد السميه ديال هاد مول ولا مولات paragraph, and then I'll show it to you. Very nice. I think it's better to do it this way. يلا سيدي. Okay, thank you. Let's move on, please. Again, I will go directly to the thesis statement and look at the last line, but one. The last line, but one. وما قبل الأخير. Okay. I strongly agree that this excessive amount of time spent on phones should be better used doing physical activities which are more beneficial for children's physical and mental health. All right. I repeat. I strongly agree that this excessive amount of time spent on phones could better be used doing, or maybe in doing or whatever, physical activities which are more beneficial for children's physical, mental health. Okay. From a language point of view, this is outstanding. Not only is it outstanding, but it's also attractive, and it attracts you to read it again. So the author here is one that masters the art of expressing himself or herself in the English language. ولكن we have a little problem here in this thesis statement. Does the question ask me should we واش لا كيسيون كتقول لنا as long as this amount of time واش كتقول لنا should the amount of time be spent here or should be لا, that's not what the exercise is saying. The exercise is saying explicitly that the young generation is passive because they are more on, they use gadgets. Contrary, and of course they are inactive, contrary to the old generation, for example. ما خصنيش ندخلو هنا should do this ولا should do that. عاد describe to me. ماشي should. I'm not asking you to give us solutions. I'm not. ماشي أنا. Donc the exercise is not asking us to give solutions. Please, if you agree, say agree with what I am saying. And I should not impose. I'm just a facilitator here, so I am using more logic than anything else. لأن قال لك do you agree with the statement? Statement اللي we should agree or we should not. Do you agree or you don't agree? راه ما فيهاش should. فيها a plain description of a fact. And an opinion that the young generation are passive or is passive because of social media. Okay, my friends? هادشي كيبين لينا بلي الثيسيس ستيتمنت خصها تكون faithful للتوبيك. وهنا ما نزربوش عاوتاني. غنقرا داكشي مزيان شنو باغيين. داك التوطئه كتسمى التوطئه، ديك الفيرست 3 sentences ولا 4 اللي فراز اللي كيعطيوكم عاد لا كيستيون. راه الحكمه تما. راه تما خصني نجيب انا الاليمنتس ديال الثيسيس ستيتمنت وحتى نكون منها ان باراغراف. work smartly. اوكي. شوف ما سي حمزه ما الموضوع ما مطروحش ديال واش shouldn't. راه اصلا ما كاينش should ولا shouldn't. حتى ليكسبريسيون should ما خصهاش تكون. دابا حنا او نيفو ديال لا ديسكريبسيون ديال الفاكتس. Do you believe that the young generation is or is not? I strongly believe that the young generation spend more time on TV. راه سي ديفيرون على should spend. Should spend راه دخلتي زعما it's not an opinion anymore. It's a judgment that is somehow it's not an opinion. علاش؟ لان السؤال كيقول لك واش you agree ولا disagree. Be faithful to the question. اش دخلنا نديرو should ولا هذا حلال وهذا حرام. No. Thank you for understand this. It's could spend. Even واخا تقول السي اشرف could spend يعني بحال كتقول هذا احسن من هذا. دابا السؤال راه كاين واحد لا نيونس صغير، واحد الخيط رفيع كما تنقولوا بين what I'm saying and what perhaps you are right. راه بحال غير هو سي با فيديل. اون ني با فيديل على لا كيسيون. لا كيسيون ما داخله تما لا شود لا شنو خصهم يديروا ولا شنو خصهم يديروا. سي اون ديسكريبسيون. واش هاد اليونغ جينيريشن are passive because they spend. You agree you don't agree. يعني في ثيسيس ستيتمنت فاش اسمع غنجيك من الاخر. فاش غادي نشوف لا كيسيون كتطلب مني do you agree ولا do you disagree، لا يحق لي ان استعمل لا should ولا would ولا must ولا حتى شي حاجه. اجاوبني اخويا واش يو اجري ولا لا. صافي بوين فينال. انا خصني نشوف ثيسيس ستيتمنت ان اكسبريشن نو ماتر هاو سوفيستيكيت. ماشي بالضروره اي اجري اي ديساجري الى اخره. لا you see no. Ahmed, what did you want to write? I think you were writing something in English but your keyboard turned out to be Arabic, to type in Arabic. واش متفقين معايا ولا لا؟ Do you agree with me here? You don't. Yes, we should give an opinion. اسمع دعاء, we should give an opinion because we are asked to give an opinion. If we were asked to prefer, which do you prefer? Just imagine, which do you think is better? هنا we, which do you think is better? Someone who is spending time here or here. مزيانة هذا غزل. ولكن أنا ما سولونيش على which one is better. سولوني واش بصح young generation, do you believe that the young generation is passive because they spend time on this, on this? I hope you agree with me. واش فهمتوني ولا حيت اللي ما فهمتوش راه ما غادي شيء. You express your stance on the issue. هذه رقم واحد. رقم جوج, ما خصنيش نهرب على السؤال, ما نزيد حتى شي حاجه ما نقص من السؤال. السؤال شنو قال لنا؟ To what extent do you agree or disagree with this statement? La deuxième partie give you reasons. Reasons ديالاش؟ Reasons ديال if I say yes, I should give reasons why yes. If I say why, I should give reasons why. That's all. مزيان سليمان, thank you. Ahmed, thank you. Okay, very good. Okay, thank you. All right, let's read now. غنقراو la première phrase. Okay, le début du paragraphe. Have you ever noticed how often kids spend countless hours on their phones in family meetings? مزيان, very good. This is a question. You can start with a question that there is no problem with that. Okay, very good. Thank you, Fatima. I agree with you. Sihaitam, thank you. Dua, thank you. So هنا مزيانة هاد الأفخاذ زوينة في الأول. And then you have, rather than engaging in physical activities, today's generation tends to spend their leisure time playing computer games, chatting on social media, or just watching TV all day long. Very good, very good. I strongly agree that this excessive amount of time spent on could better be. هذا هو عارفين يعطيها شي شويه وصافي, ما داكشي كان غادي زوين. وبيان سور قبل زعما عندنا جوج ديال سميتو المؤاخذات على هاد. اولا thesis statement حبذا لو تعاودها, هذا رقم واحد. رقم جوج, ربما غيكون من الافضل تزيد واحد الجمله قبل I strongly agree باش ما نحسوش باللي بدينا شي حاجه بالعاني هكا من بعد thesis statement ندخل شي حاجه اخرى. مثلا some people believe, some people agree, while there are people who think that, while فهمتيني. دونك مزيان. دونك ولكن لونجلي ما شاء الله عليك, written English is just amazing. تبارك الله عليك, Mr. Dot or Miss Dot. Okay, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. I have another one here. Let me hide the next author's name. Very good. So let's move on, please. Yeah, it is a nice hook. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. For Gaming. The thesis statement should be a declarative sentence. Bien sûr, هو دارها declarative. In fact, you see, ماشي مشكل, ما عندوش مشكل ديال declarative. It's well written, except perhaps the orientation is not really, you know, the focus is not there. All right, so it should be declarative. ضحى بوبو, this could be in agreement, disagreement, or nuanced position. I'm afraid you are responding to something I said before, or are you talking about the thesis statement? Tuha, explain that please. Well written, yes, well written. I heard from a professor that the begin with a question is not a practical start. No, for an introduction, we can allow it, you know, in academia, but you know, for the inside of the essay, yes, I fully agree with the professor. Even rhetorical questions are not really favored. And a thesis statement in the form of a question is a no-no, you see. But at the beginning, just like that, to start with a question, yes, it's acceptable. It's fine. No problem with that. I repeat. If you start your introduction with a question, no harm in that. If you make of your thesis statement, or if you put in your thesis statement in the form of a question, no, because this statement has to be a declarative sentence and has to be faithful answer to the topic question. Inside the essay, in the other paragraphs, no. At the end of the introduction, your last sentence can also be a question. Mr. For Gaming, I hope you understand me here. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now let's move on. Let's talk about, let's look at, I think you can start with questions, quotes, statistics. Yes, you can start with that. Yeah. For an introduction, these are things that are allowed. Okay. Thank you very much. You can even start with a joke, but just don't make it long, all right, or facts, whatever. All right. Yes. Never mind. Or a recent piece of news or something that is widely discussed in society, etc. Can we read the thesis statement of this paragraph, please? The thesis statement says, I believe that technological devices have harmed many of youths, okay, more than benefit them. What do you think, my friends, about this thesis statement? Yeah. Thank you. All right. So we have, I believe that, when I'm talking about thesis statement, maybe there is this delay in your responses. I believe that technological devices have harmed many of youths more than benefit them. Let's abstract away from some of the language mistakes here in this sentence. Well, let's abstract away from that. Let's consider the sentence itself. Does this qualify, or can this qualify as a good thesis statement for the question asked by the examiner? The examiner, again, this is a kind reminder, the examiner asks us what our opinion is in regard to the idea that young generations spend more time on TV and therefore have become, less agile or less active. Now, I believe that technological devices have harmed many young people. The question was not about whether technological devices have harmed people or not. The question is about your opinion about whether the young generation, do you believe that it's true that young generation spend more time on these gadgets and therefore they are inactive? I think the point is missed here. Thank you. Thank you. And of course, there are some mistakes that need to be corrected. I believe that technological devices have harmed many of youths. Do we say many of youths? Many young people, just like that. Many of the youth, maybe, have harmed more than benefited them, have harmed, more than benefited them, because more than is a kind of, so it requires parallel structures. Anyway, we agree that this probably needs to be rewritten. Now, let's move on to the reading of the beginning. Okay, let's read the whole thing now. Nobody can deny that today's generation spend a lot of time on their smartphones, jumping from one social platform to another or playing different online games with friends. Very good, very good. This may affect and distract those people from engaging in physical activities and take care of their well-being. مزيان تبارك الله. This is well written. Except that this is shorter than I would expect of someone who can write like this. Okay? Maybe an extra sentence would do you better. And of course, needless to remind you, writer of this paragraph, that the thesis statement has to be rewritten. وعندي واحد الميساج الله يخليكم. دابا هاد لي فراز بحال nobody can deny ولاو دي كليشي. بدلوا شويه صاحبي، بدل change a bit. nobody can deny كلشي كيكتبها هذاك بحال داك يعتبر ديال الانشاء. I mean it's not wrong ولكن ما عرفتش. It's better to change this, I think, because it's على الأقل it's undeniable that nobody could call into question. شفتوا على expression كي دايره ولا لا؟ Nobody can call into question the idea that etc. Okay, but I don't mean it's wrong. ما wrong ما والو، صحيحه 100%. Okay، انا غير شويه كنزير شويه حتى مع الطلبه ديالي كندير هذه القضيه هذه. كنزير معاهم في الاول باش وهذا الشيء كيعطي لي ريزولت. انا شفت انا الايسايز في الفاينل اكزام كانوا رائعين. most of them not all of them of course. حيت اللي ما كيدخلش ما عمره ما دخل. Never mind my friends. Okay, I think we are done with this. Let's move on to the next one please. I'm sorry, am I boring or not? يلا. If I am boring, tell me politely بالحق, huh? Don't tell me you are boring هكاك in the face. Tell me we don't know, sir, or we will see. I'm just joking. All right. Thank you, my dear friends. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thanks a lot. يلا نشوفوا هذا الشيء. All right. Yeah, as shown above, it's fine, you know, as stated above, as shown above, it's very nice. I mean, it's not a good thing. It's not a mistake. I'm sorry. So we have a paragraph like this one here. We have to go to the heart of it. نشوفوا واش الهارت هي هذيك ولا هو هذيك ولا لا. From my perspective, I strongly believe that. Again, this is a case of tautology. Thank you, Fatima. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you, everyone. Look, so this sentence that starts with, from my perspective, I strongly believe that. Isn't it the same? From my perspective, and I strongly believe. Again, it's tautology. You'd rather either write from my perspective or I strongly believe. We don't need to write more words than necessary here. Okay, so I strongly believe that this lifestyle, which lifestyle? هل مشكل ديال autonomy? You see, these mistakes recur. Okay, so I strongly believe that this lifestyle, I don't know, this generation's lifestyle, maybe, شوية, this lifestyle no, can negatively affect people's health. Again, هنا كان مشكل. The same problem as the previous paragraphs. The question is not asking you whether it can negatively affect or positively affect. Okay, so this last sentence, this thesis statement, has an issue of faithfulness or faith, faithfulness. Yes, that's true. La fidélité. So, okay, faithfulness to the question. La question ما كتقوليناش واش you strongly believe that lifestyle can negatively ولا positively. ما شغلناش في داك الشيء حنايا. دابا حنا شغلنا واش هاد young generation are they inactive because of social media or not. ما جاوبتيش على السؤال هنايا. اوكي زيد عليها بيان سور from my perspective. هذاك خطا ربما اسلوبي, ما نقولوش لغوي, اسلوبي. Okay, my friends, so please, author of this paragraph, think of rewriting your thesis statement. شفتوا لا thesis statement we take it for granted. We think that it's just لا راه المصحح راه كيشوف هادشي. كيشوف هادشي وكيقراو كلشي وكيشوفوه. Okay, nice. So nowadays, let's read from the beginning. Nowadays, technology has become an integrated and inseparable part of many people's daily lives. Okay, let's read again. Nowadays, technology has become, okay, an integrated and inseparable part of many people's daily lives. Are there any mistakes in here, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, I think there is a little issue with redundancy. We're talking about the first sentence, of course. عندك integrated and inseparable راهو بحال هذا رقم واحد. هذا من جهة أخرى ما كنقولوش integrated. We say integral, an integral part. an integral part of. انا نتفوقر عليكم واحد الاكسبريسيون يلا نكتبها لكم هنا. We say it's part and parcel. Part and parcel. Look, I wrote it there. Technology has become part and parcel of many people's, etc. Okay. Which is more accurate, people's daily lives or people's daily life? Is it daily lives or daily life? Okay, Ashraf is writing. Okay, daily lives, people's daily lives. Check it, please. This is just to stimulate your curiosity because, people have one life. People's lives, if they have a سبعة أرواح. Okay, بحال cats. Okay, like cats. Yes, you can say people's daily lives, but it's just life. Okay, all right. Very good. It's people's daily life rather than daily lives. Okay. Okay, my friends, I'm not laughing at the mistake. I'm laughing at the situation because I made a comparison. These are things that come just like that. Okay. People's daily life, not daily lives, because we have just one life. Okay. Nice. Let's move on, please. Many teenagers and young adults spend hours playing video games, chatting aimlessly on social media, or just watching TV. مزيان مزيان. شتو هل الأخ ولا الأخت ما عقلتش على السمية de toute façon. You see, they have brought exactly what was said in the topic. هذه مزيانة كحل زعما آخر الدواء الكي كما تقول. So it's good to take that, these statements from what is it, but it's even better to try to do some paraphrasing so that it does not look like a copy and paste activity. Okay, it's good to get inspired, write almost the same, but try the corrector should see some change there, should see that there's something that comes from you. Try to do some paraphrasing. Yes, rephrasing, paraphrasing. Thank you, Ahmed Awid. Okay, but this is very nice. You see, شوف, while these activities can offer instant entertainment and connection with the other virtual space without any physical activities, this can be a double-edged sword. Okay, fine. غير هو, you have started to derail because you started, showing your position, you showing that you are at the heart of the topic. ولكن في الآخر بديتي في هذه أحسن من هذه, and this is not what you are asked to do. It's not what you are asked to do. Okay, so please try to bear in mind this. Otherwise, the language is very nice. Tabarakallah. Apart from I think integrated, it's the integral part. It's part and parcel, an essential part, a fundamental part, etc. Double-edged sword, stilo ahmar. Okay, double-edged sword. Yes, of course, Ashraf. That's true. Okay, that's minimal compared to, you see, هذوك ممكن انسان الميستيكس راه شوف ما كاينش شي رايتي ما فيش ميستيكس باش نتفاهم. غير هو بحال الميستيكس اللي كيتوشيو ثيسي ستيتمنت والاورغانيزاسيون والاجريمنت في لاغرامير هادو هما اللي هذا. ولكن of course I agree with you Ashraf, one has to be, you see, cautious of every single detail in his writing, of course. Okay, so let's move on please to the other one, maybe the last one here. I guess it's the last one. The last one here, let's see. Let me نحيد السمية على أساس ما شفتوهاش. ياك لا كنت حيدتها وقيل عاودي لا هذا الشيء اللي كاين. اوكي The drafts make writing better. Absolutely. وحتى لا براتيك قبل ما يمشي لواحد لشي اكزامان انا نكون بلاصتكم والله كل نهار نكتب ايساي، شي هكاك because there is something waiting for me. يقدروا يعطوني الاكزامان، ما عطوش الاكزامان يعطوا لي شوا ملتيبل، داك الساعه تكون عندي الاورغانيزاسيون ضبطها يعني. Okay my friends, okay, right. So let's read the thesis statement please. while this claim does not speak for an entire generation, I believe it holds enough truth to warrant serious concern over the state of today's youth. يلا قرأوا لي the thesis statement and tell me what you think about it or what you think of it. My friend, the friend who wrote this, if we bring someone who has not read about the topic, يعني who has not read the question, and we make him read this thesis statement, will he or she tell us what your essay will be about? Answer, no. Thank you for, Athena is saying that she admits that this is her writing implicitly. And your thesis statement is the second sentence. شوف, it's habitual that in academic writing, our thesis statement, is left at the end. Why? Because the introduction has to have what we call a funnel shape. You need to start with general statements and then you get down until you fall on the thesis statement. That's the most specific part of your paragraph. Therefore, writing it, as a second sentence may not be a good choice. Okay, Athena, since you admit that it's yours, it's yours anyway. So I don't think that's the right place for it, honestly. At least in the essay as we know it, in our environment. And anyway, in the academic context, there might be people who say, well, this statement can be here, can be there. No, the best thesis, the best paragraph, best introductory paragraph is the one that has this funnel shape. funnel شنو هو funnel؟ سي لونتونوار، سي هذاك الدواز اللي كنقولوا يعني كنكبوا فيه ان ليكيد باش ما يمشيش اغوش ادغوت باش ما يتهرقش داك الليكيد في شي بلاصه اخرى. Okay, so it has this shape. The upper edge is is big like that, and then it gets narrow until you reach the most specific part, and that's your entrance into the essay. So it's a good idea to rewrite this, and of course make your thesis statement clear at the end of the sentence. Let me read now from the point of view and language and see if there is anything we could point out. As children, our parents would often yell at us to come inside after we spent, wow, you remind me of my childhood, and oh la la, that's exactly what happened. As children, our parents would often yell at us to come inside after we spent too long outdoors. Amazing. Nowadays, however, شوفوا لي however كيفاش نستعملها عاوتاني. Nowadays, however, we see a complete reversal in these habits. I believe that today's generation is plagued with an unhealthy fixation on screens, be it a TV, a computer, or even a phone. رائع. English رائع. Rien à dire. Hein? They barely spend these generation barely spend any time doing physical activities, and even when they do, it is usually limited to school, physical education class, and viewed as a chore rather than an enjoyable recreation. علاش درتي هنا physical activity؟ ما عرفتش زعما when they do to a school physical activity. I think it needs some little rephrasing here for reasons of clarity, and viewed as a chore rather than an enjoyable recreation. While this claim does not speak for an entire generation, I believe, you show very good mastery of written English, apart from that little thing that needs to be clarified for physical education, etc. But of course, I do sincerely advise you, Athena, to rewrite this with a clear thesis statement at the end of the sentence. I think I have exhausted the paragraphs here. And I am sure I am myself. I am exhausted. So I have exhausted this, and I am exhausted. Totally exhausted. I have been involved in some physical activity today, and I'm still, suffering from some of its consequences, of course. And I overworked myself. Anyway, so I remember that me, the mother, drug in her son home in 90 something, and then dragging him out in 20 something. I don't remember that, honestly. I really don't know this. Sarah. Okay, my dear friends, I am a bit tired. I'm a bit tired. Thank you very much for being faithful to this, to these lives. I hope I will make it in a better shape perhaps tomorrow. مرحبا. واش استفدتوا شي حاجة من هذا الشيء ولا والو؟ Comment, comment, comment. والو, no comments. والو, they don't care. Comment. Thanks a lot. زيد واش استفدتوا? Of course, thank you. زيد وbenefited. مزيان والحمد لله. Very good. Thank you. انا ما غاديش نقول لهم لا leave comment السي مصطفى ولا والو. دابا they know the rules. Okay, if they see that they benefit from these lives, then of course they will go and hit the like button, except the three مسمومين slash مسمومات. ما عرفنا واش مسمومين. واحد مسمومه راه بنت. She apologized. Okay, I'm just joking, my friends. So thank you very much, and let's meet tomorrow, inshallah. Okay, bye bye, everyone.